Hello everyone and welcome to the Chrissy B Show, and we are the UK's only TV programme that's dedicated to your mental health and well-being. So welcome to our Wellbeing Wednesday show, where we love to cover topics to help you look after yourself both mentally and physically. Now, do you consider yourself to be quite a strong and positive personality? Well, that's great, but even the strongest of us can be negatively affected by certain circumstances. So today I will be speaking to professional dancer and model Natalia Kotoska, who considers herself as a strong personality. However, she found it very hard to stay mentally stable, positive and full of energy when dealing with the entertainment industry. She'll be telling us all about how she dealt with being under pressure and judgments, and what she discovered that helped her release all of her stress and frustrations. Natalia will also be dancing for us a bit later on. And with it being Wellbeing Wednesday, we have a double whammy for you today, with pharmacist Sid Dajan answering about your pharmacy queries and our weekly Doctor's Answer session with Dr. Rob Hicks. We're also looking after our skin today with beauty expert Sally Solma, who'll be talking about skincare post-holidays. And as an extra treat, you may consider pancakes as unhealthy, but you'll be pleased to know that our resident nutritionist Danielle Shine has found an amazing healthy dessert, which is normally kept for members of the exclusive Grace Belgravia. However, their head chef will be showing us how to make this dessert. And I'll be sharing my own tips on how to get back up when you've been knocked down. Now back to our main theme for today, which is getting hit and fighting back. What are you guys out there saying? Angel says, I look back to that day when I was so close to giving up. Now I can't stop feeling so proud of myself. Thank you for fighting your demons, self. Bliss Counseling say, fight back without empowering what you're fighting against. Dominique says, sometimes you think people are for you, but they are fighting you out behind your back. Terry Higgins says, we are not perfect, we make mistakes. We get knocked down, but we must get back up and keep fighting. Elsie shares the same sentiments. She says, when you get knocked down, stand back up and keep fighting for what you want. So if any of you have any comments about being knocked down and fighting back, do get in touch with us on info@chrissybshow.tv. You can also tweet us at Chrissy B Show or leave a message on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. So now it's time to talk pharmacy matters with Dr. Sid Dajani. Welcome to the show, Sid.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
It's lovely to have you on. So it's the first time we've had a pharmacist on the show. So would you like to start by telling us what a pharmacist actually does? Because there's a little bit of confusion sometimes, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's great insight that you've actually asked me to come on, because there's a lot of mystery about what pharmacists do. Most people tend to think pharmacists are the sort of place you go get your prescriptions dispensed and buy the odd packet of tablets.
Yeah.
But we're much more fundamental than that. Sure, we do dispense over 1 billion prescriptions out of 11,500 pharmacies a year, and that's really important, because any civilized society, the ready access to medicines is fundamental.
Yeah.
But more importantly than that, if you think we are just about dispensing and prescribing, you're missing out a hell of a lot, because we are a hub of resources to services. So I am a prescriber, for example, around travel health. We do NHS heart health checks that will give you a percentage score of what likelihood you're going to get a cardiac event. We would be also doing clinical services like hepatitis B, hepatitis C, flu jabs, as well as the core roles around public health, self-help, independent living. So our roles really are around promoting health, preventing disease, and prolonging the quality of your life. So we're far more than just pill counters and shopkeepers.
So in this case, will people just walk in and just ask for help in these services, or do you have to kind of book before for certain things?
Most of the time you can walk straight in, and that's the beauty of pharmacy, because we are the only scientifically literate professionals on the high street. You don't need appointments to see us. Maximum wait's about 10-15 minutes. You can come in weekends. You don't have to take time off work, because we're open after office hours. And more importantly, we have consultation rooms now. We have they're soundproofed. You can take somebody in with you if you like. Everything's confidential. We have access to summary care records now, so you can work with your past case history, so your advice is accurate and up to date. So pretty much you can just walk in and ask for a service. And if we can't help you, we can always act as gatekeepers to refer you on to other pharmacies or other healthcare professionals that do help you. Not just the GP, as important as they are, but nurses, optometrists, OTs, that
Now, I
sort of
have
thing.
to admit, Sid, that I am actually guilty of just thinking you guys will just, take care of our prescriptions. But I have been corrected, and I'm learning, like I'm sure a lot of the viewers are learning, so that's brilliant. So it's good to know that you can actually, I don't know why I just don't. I just tend to go to the doctor rather than asking my pharmacist, ask for advice or anything. So it's really good to know that. So can you tell us maybe some of the common mistakes that people make when they are taking medication in certain things?
Well, that's an eye-opener. How long have you got? I mean, every day's a school day as a community pharmacist. If you go into work as a community pharmacist, then you always have to do that extra mile because you don't know who's going to come through the door. But I dare say a lot of the common mistakes are people taking out-of-date medicines, sharing medicines, people storing their medicines in bathroom cabinets so they're nice and wet and moist and the gels and the capsules are stuck together. But sometimes you have common mistakes where people, for example, are still taking medication that should have been stopped, but by the hospital, for example, the GPs have carried it on because of breakdown of communication somewhere, which is not the GP's fault. So, for example, we had one situation where a lady was taking 2 sets of tablets and they were interacting each other, so the treatment actually was not working whatsoever. And that's not good for the taxpayer, it's not good for the NHS. And one of the common mistakes that people do, as you quite rightly point out, is you'd automatically go and see a GP. You don't think of the pharmacist's first port of call, even though you don't have a 3 or 4 week waiting list. And it's estimated that 57 million consultations a year that people go to see a GP, take up all the GP's time unnecessarily, or an A&E, and all that money that's invested in that could be easily sorted out at a community pharmacy.
Wow. So how about disposing of medicines?
Yes, a lot of people don't know this, but you just take them back to your pharmacy. We would dispose them free of charge. A lot of the services in pharmacy are either free or private, but this is one of the free ones that we do. We've also had not just medicines that have expired, but medicines that people have either asked for by the doctor and then not taken because they have not followed advice, which is always sets alarm bells ringing. We also have fake medicines that they've bought off the internet because you can't just take it back if it doesn't look right or it crumbles too badly. So it's very important you bring them back to us because we would dispose of medicines as well as needle sharps if you're diabetic or if you're using drugs illegally, which is out there. So we have ways and means of disposing them safely so you don't pollute the planet. So in so many ways, pharmacy is a resource that nobody knows that they can use.
Now, just a common question I think a lot of people have, the difference between paracetamol and ibuprofen. What would that be?
Yes, well, there's a lot of differences. I mean, for example, ibuprofen is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, and it has its purpose around inflammation and pain. Paracetamol is also about pain, but it also deals with fever, but they work differently. But the biggest thing you would differentiate between paracetamol and ibuprofen is in who can use it and who can't. So if you're pregnant, you can't use, for example, ibuprofen. If you're breastfeeding, you can't use ibuprofen. If you're pregnant, you can use paracetamol. If you wanted a cream, then obviously ibuprofen could work a lot better. So it's really depending on the contraindication, adverse drug reactions of one or the other. And that's why we say don't share medicines, because although you might have the same symptoms, you might be the same age, same gender, your case histories will be different. That's why pharmacists will always want to ask you questions privately to not be nosy, but to ascertain what is the best treatment that you would have at the best time for you right now. That's why don't be shy or be fearful of being asked questions, and to answer them as honestly as possible. We're not there to judge, we are there to help you.
That's brilliant. So thank you so much. It's been such an eye-opener, and I shall value my pharmacists much more from now on. I shall ask some questions before booking an appointment at my doctor's surgery.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so now it's time to actually speak to our lovely makeup expert, Sani Souma, who'll be talking about skincare post-holidays. Welcome to the show, Sani.
Thank you so much. It's good to be back.
It's lovely to have you back on. So you're going to be telling us about skincare today.
Yes, so post-holiday skincare. I went through all of these problems last week when I came back from holiday, so I thought it would be about time I talk about them. So there's 3 main things if you're coming back from like a summery holiday. Dehydrated skin, breakouts, and pigmentation. I had all those 3. So I'm going to have individual tips for each and every one of them. Now the first thing is, if you are suffering from dehydrated skin, stay away from anything that contains alcohol, so like toners, astringents, anything like that is going to make it worse. But better than that is to get into the oils. I love my skin oils. This one is sweet almond oil. So what I do is I actually mix it with my moisturizer, because if I put pure oil in, I feel like my skin is a little bit too oily. But I mix it with my nighttime moisturizer. I kind of supercharge it and then give my skin like an extra drink of oil during the night.
Okay, so you leave that on, you don't take it off?
I leave it on for the whole night, and during the day, my favorite combo is adding hyaluronic acid. So hyaluronic acid binds water to itself. I think it was 10 times or 100 times. I'm bad with numbers, so I can't remember which. Its own weight. So if you combine a hyaluronic serum into your skin with your moisturizer, then you don't look like a oil slick or something during the day, but you're still getting that moisture back into the skin the whole time. It's kind of like, I call it supercharging your moisturizer. You can add tons of things to your moisturizer. You don't need to just be tied to that moisturizer as is. Now for breakouts.
Yes.
Sunscreen causes breakouts on a lot of people. It's not just me, and the sweating and all of that. So number one is start exfoliating very gently, because if you have sunburn or anything like that, you have to use a very gentle exfoliator. I love exfoliators like the St. Ives ones because they have on the back, it says low, medium or high exfoliation action. So go for the low or the medium, stay away from the high ones so that it's not too abrasive on your skin. And also,
I didn't know you could get them separately like that.
There's little guides on all of them, which is really good. Adding a little drying lotion during the nighttime. This one is great. It's Mario Badescu, and you just put it directly on the
looks like calamine lotion.
It does have some calamine. Calamine dries out spots. Or toothpaste. Cheaper.
Okay, we won't go there today.
And also switching up your moisturizer. So my favorite moisturizer currently is, well, the one that I have been showing on screen, the Neutrogena one. I switched to an oil-free one on my T-zone where I get breakouts so that I'm not adding any oil onto that bit. But I think the most important thing when you are suffering from breakouts is switching to mineral foundations. So using mineral makeup that doesn't add anything extra to the skin. It's completely natural, won't clog your pores, and it's so pure that you can sleep in it. So I think...
you shouldn't have told me that. No, I'm my makeup off.
You're not wearing mineral makeup today.
No, I'm not.
You're wearing a proper foundation. And the last one, and this unfortunately I really suffer with, I get pigmentation when the sun comes out, is think about using a retinoid product. They don't need to be expensive, and they don't need to be, prescribed by a doctor, because those are really hardcore ones. You can get over-the-counter ones. This is Advanced Retinoid 2 by The Ordinary. Very cheap, very effective products. And you start using it every other night or every third night to see how well you do with the retinoids. It can dry your skin out a bit, but it really fades pigmentation super, super well. I haven't started using this yet. I'm waiting for the sun to kind of, well, if the English summer ever actually materializes, because with retinoids you have to be super careful with using sunscreen every single day. Every day, and you need to use a 50 even in this beautiful British weather.
Really?
So retinols make you more susceptible to getting more pigment. It gets rid of it, but you can also get more of it if you don't use a sunscreen. Low-level acids. Now, it sounds bad, but there is a lot of low-level lactic acids that you can put on your skin. Again, they are by the same brand. I haven't ventured quite there yet. It's in an order. It's on my way. It's coming to me. Lactic acid that also peels the skin a little bit to get rid of that pigmentation. What I am currently using is this weird-looking thing.
Yes, what is it?
This is a personal microdermabrasion device, and it actually, you use it on your skin like this. I'm not going to turn it on now, it's going to make a massive sound, and it actually really exfoliates your skin and gets rid of everything. It's completely safe. I absolutely love this thing. Your skin feels like a baby's bottom afterwards.
Okay, lovely. Sally, thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
We'll see you again next week.
Yes, I'm back here for a couple of weeks now, I think.
Yes,
great.
Thank you. All right, guys, so don't go away, because after the break, I'll be speaking to professional dancer and model Natalia Kotowska, who considers herself as a strong personality. However, she did find it very hard to stay mentally stable, positive, and full of energy when dealing with the entertainment industry. How does she deal with this in a positive way? Find out after this break. But first, which rapping legend used to do ballet? Is it A, 50 Cent, B, Tupac, or C, Snoop Dogg? Do you know the answer? Let's see if you're right after this. Welcome welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone. So before the break, I asked you which rapping legend used to do ballet. Was it A, 50 Cent, B, Tupac, or C, Snoop Dogg? The answer is B, Tupac. He became a member of the 127th Street Ensemble, a Harlem-based theatre company. Well, now I have my very special guest with me, and that's Natalia Kotoska. Welcome to the show, Natalia.
Thank you so much for having me.
So lovely to have you here. Now, we are going to be treated to a special performance. You are going to be dancing for us a bit later on. But first, we want to hear all about you.
Yes.
So how was life growing up? Did you always want to be a dancer?
Yeah, well, I guess so, because when I was 6 years old, apparently my parents told me I was really kind of performing kid. So I was dancing and freestyling, and that's how it started. Actually, my parents signed me for audition, and I got approved, and I was in a dance group.
So you were only, how old were you at the time? Only 6?
I was 6 years old, 7.
Already in a dance group?
Yes.
Wow, okay, so your whole life you've been doing that then?
Yes, there were breaks in between because that wasn't exactly what I really liked as a kid. I was just like this kid who liked to express, I like to express myself the way I wanted to. So once someone put the rules, I think, on me, I was like more like, not really that thing. But because back in my hometown, that was only one dance school that you could actually be a part of. Yeah, so I didn't have much choices. So I was dancing with them for 4 or 5 years, but then I was like, okay, it's not for me, because it was all about disco dance and kind of more contemporary ballet stuff, and I wasn't just feeling it that much. So I was like, that's not really what I like. But I was still dancing at home.
So it was a passion, it was just there all the time.
And I felt like that was kind of the thing that I liked to do. I was always like kind of more artistic type kid. So I was dancing and then painting and playing piano. So kind of everything was around the same field-ish. So I guess somewhere there, maybe I knew that I wanted to be a dancer.
So when did you actually get into it sort of more deeply and actually start doing it professionally?
So more deeply, I went into that while I was studying back home, because I left my hometown, I moved to bigger city, more opportunities, more dance schools. I joined different crews. So I was actually maybe 18, 19. That was more professional. Before that, I was like just sneaking in, partying and dancing somewhere where I could really find a place to just express myself, you know. So, but the university time, I would say, was the time when I really got into that and into competition. And then once I moved to London, it completely kind of went on another level.
So London was a good opportunity for you.
Oh, it was amazing. University here, dance university that I finished, graduated. My time with my crew, and then the battling time and performing. And so London is definitely the place where I really took it on another level.
Brilliant. Now it all sounds very exciting, and really like, wow, dancing for professionally, and obviously it's good exercise. You keep yourself fit and healthy. What about the pressures? Because it is a lot of pressures, a lot of sacrifice involved. How do you deal with all of that?
Yeah, well, the entertaining industry is quite rough and harsh, and at times can be really difficult to kind of mentally be able to overcome all those difficulties, I would say. For me, it's a sport. I'm the person that without sport, really, I won't exist. I won't be able to move on and just deal with the daily stress and the pressure. So for me to be able to go there and shine and go on audition and casting and be like, here you are, like, I'm here. So for me, it's like the exercise, like sport and boxing. And
you do boxing as well?
Yes, I'm a boxer. So that's all that keeps me sane and keeps my brain away from all the rejection and the stress.
So I was actually going to ask you about that. So the main pressures are maybe sort of the rejections that you face and all those kind of things, right?
Yeah, a lot of rejection, a lot of no answers, and no answers as well. I mean, not at all. You don't know sometimes what you do good, bad, or are you the one, or what's wrong with me? Why am I not getting jobs? So all those stressful situation might affect how you feel about yourself and how you pursue yourself, and then all those difficulties might come out.
I suppose with the boxing you can get your frustrations out.
Definitely,
right? Yeah.
boxing is the one that helps you to just release your frustration, stress. However, for me, it's everything. Because for boxing I do a lot of run as well, so that's also a way to just let my brain to relax and just let it out. I'm a fitness instructor, personal trainer too, so I do a lot of
How are you finding time to do all this stuff?
Everyone asks me that, but if you think about it, it's all in the one field. So, okay, if I teach dance, then I'm going to have classes, combat. Now I just started to do combat classes as well. So it's all in the same family. You just pick little bits here and there, and then you just manage your time the right way so you can have time for everything. Okay. But that's my lifestyle, to be honest. For me, the time when I rest is the time when I dance, when I exercise. That's my rest. When I rest, like, when I'm just still, I'm like, something is wrong. I need to do something. So I'm an action person.
People relax in different ways, don't they? Because my idea of resting is not a spa. I get so bored. I have to be walking or doing something. So I know what you mean.
For me, endorphins is everything. So, and in order to get that out of my body is to do something physical. Dance, go for fitness class, do fitness class, deliver it. And I love to see people enjoying themselves, and I love to uplift and empower people to, motivate them, because I know how hard is that to stay motivated and to look at yourself certain way, positive way, when the industry actually rejects you so many times.
Would you say that, for example, if a person is particularly sensitive or they don't really take well to being, people saying no, it's not really a good industry for them to enter into, would you say? I look very tough outside, but I'm a very sensitive person. So I kind of find my way to deal with that. I would say it's manageable. It's for everyone who would like to do it, but you have to find your way to do it and deal with that. Because no matter what, you're gonna get rejected. Now you have to be strong inside, to believe in yourself and to see your values, not let the industry to value you. Okay, I see what you mean.
It's very difficult. I learned that. I'm still learning. I'm in the process of kind of finding the balance, So every day you wake up with sometimes different moods. Like once you're happy, once you feel down, once I feel like I just want to quit it. That's it. It's over. But then a few hours later, I'm like, no, come on, let's fight. That's why boxing helps me mentally to go through things. How bad do you want it? And how many times you're gonna just stand up, build yourself back, and fight back,
I love your attitude, very positive attitude. So Natalia, what's your dream? What's the goal for the future for you?
So my dream is, it's gonna sound very boring, but to be happy with what I do, and I would love to motivate people and be, not the example because that's the big word, but I would love to empower, encourage people, spread the love and the passion for either dance, sport, or whatever you do, but just to make sure that people believe in themselves, and through the sport or dance or art they can achieve that. So I would love to make sure that my job helps people somehow, not just by looking at me, oh, she's a dancer or a boxer, but the whole philosophy behind that. I would love people to listen and be like, I can do it. If I did that, everyone else can do it. So
brilliant. So tell us about the dance that you're going to be doing for us in just a moment. What is it that you've put together? Well,
I'm a hip hop and house dancer, so that's going to be my my dance. A little bit of house and hip hop mixed together, and it's going to be a freestyle because I'm a mainly freestyle dancer. And that's what I studied. I studied urban styles, and hip hop and house are my two major styles that I'm in love with, and that's what I'm going to try to show it to you.
So everyone, we're just going to give Natalia a chance to change, and we'll be right back after this.
Why don't you return my calls? Why you trip out where I be? You don't
Hi, I'm Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone. So now it's time for our Doctor's Answers segment with our very own Dr. Rob Hicks. And if you have a question for him, you can email us on doctor@chrissybshow.tv. Welcome to the show, Rob.
Hi, Chris.
We've got lots of lovely questions for you today. Shall we start with the first one?
You're answering them tonight, aren't you? Because you've got your telescope
Well,
on.
one day maybe a bit more training I need. Okay, so let's get to the first one. This person's asking, I heard that you are not supposed to clean your ears with a cotton bud and you can actually cause your ears a lot of harm. I stopped cleaning my ears with cotton buds, however I'm finding that they are getting itchy and it's really irritating me. My ears don't feel very clean. Is there another way we should clean our ears?
Well, let's go right back to the beginning of that question, which is,
Yes.
They're absolutely correct. There is no need to clean your ears. And certainly don't put cotton buds or pens or anything else in the ears, because the risk is you put anything in the ears like that and you're going to damage the ear canal, you're actually going to potentially damage the eardrum, and also you're going to damage the mechanism the ear has for cleaning itself. The ear does a very, very good job of cleaning itself. It doesn't need any help from us. Now, one of the things that you may be experiencing with the itching and the discomfort is that you may have some mild eczema within the ear, or you may have some kind of infection. So it's a very good idea for you to ask your doctor to have a look in your ears to see if that's the case, because you'll need some treatment if that is the case. You ask about whether there's a way of cleaning the ears without cotton buds, and you can do that. You can help the ear by using warm olive oil, just a couple of drops a day, maybe 3 or 4 times a week. Will soften any wax, and will actually help the wax come out, because the way that the ear works, it makes wax as part of the process of cleaning. The ear canal has lots of tiny little hairs, and they act like a conveyor belt to actually bring the wax out. And that's why you should never also put a cotton bud in, because all you do is push the wax back in again.
But Rob,
no buts.
Just a little question. The thing is, you're saying that it's just going to drop out. So does that mean you can be having a conversation with someone or be on TV and then just wax just pops out of your ear?
Absolutely right.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah. So just flick that bit off your shoulder.
A bit there.
And it's a natural process. It's an incredibly efficient process until we interfere with it.
Right, okay then. Thank you very much for that answer, thank you. Okay, next question. I suffer from frequent UTIs and I was advised by my doctor to go on a low dose of antibiotics permanently. I'm quite reluctant to do this as I feel it will harm me in the long run. Any advice would be much appreciated.
Very, very good question. And I hear what you're saying. Nobody wants to take antibiotics unless they're necessary. And that's the key to your problem, is that actually when somebody's getting recurrent UTIs, so urinary tract infections, bladder infections, the recommendation is to be on some antibiotics for a longer period of time, so months rather than weeks. The risk of not being on the antibiotics is that you're likely to increase your chances of kidney damage or damage within the rest of the system, and that's why your doctor has recommended this. A few things that you can do to help reduce your chances of developing further UTIs: make sure that you drink lots of liquids, pee on a regular basis, so don't wait until you need to pee, actually try and go every hour to flush things through, and certainly don't hold on. You don't say if you're a man or a woman, but if you're a woman, then when you're wiping, wipe from front to back. And the other thing is cotton clothing, and after you have sex, pee as soon as you can. So those are the sort of lifestyle things that you can do to reduce your risk of the infections. But your doctor will not have given you antibiotics unless he or she thinks that the benefits outweigh the risks.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Next question. I have had a black toenail for years now. It doesn't bother me at all and I don't feel any pain. But my wife keeps insisting that I should get it checked out. Is having a black toenail a problem?
The answer to that is it might be or it might not be. Your wife is right. You need to go and get this checked out because you're saying it's been there for a long time and it's not going away. Now, if it's changing in its size, or if it's not growing out as it should do over a course of about 6 months to 12 months, then it's important you get it checked out. The reason being is that worst case scenario, it may be skin cancer under the nail. Now, the odds are that it isn't, but if it is, you want to get it diagnosed and treated as soon as possible. There are other causes. I'm not trying to scare you here. There are other causes of a black nail, and one is a fungal infection, and that can be easily treated by your doctor. Often it's actually because of recurrent trauma. So if you're a long-distance runner, for example, that may consistently damage the nail and cause it to turn black. Or if you keep dropping things on your toe, as I did not so long ago, you jolly well know that it hurts and it becomes black, but then it grows out. So if yours is what we call static, then I would pop yourself along to your doctor as soon as possible and just get it looked at.
Brilliant. Thank you, Rob. Next question. I moved to a new house a couple of months ago and have noticed that it takes me ages to get off to sleep. I feel really tired, but once I get into bed, I'm tossing and turning. The thing is, I'm not worried about anything and my room is nice and comfy, so I really don't know what's causing this.
Interesting question, yeah. Isn't it? Well, off the top of my head, the first thing I'm thinking about is maybe it's simply the fact that you're in a new environment. So you may be just really very excited about your new home.
And the comfy room.
And the comfy room. Yeah. Or it might be actually you're a bit anxious about being in a new place where you don't know the surroundings, you're not used to the natural noises that occur within a home. You mention it's nice and comfy, but you don't mention actually whether it's dark enough, and you don't mention actually whether the bed's comfortable. Maybe you've moved into a place with a new bed, and actually that's what's stopping you from going off to sleep. You say that you're not worried about anything. It strikes me that there's something. Because this is a very common symptom that people are fine during the day, they put their head on the pillow and then the worries start and they can't go to sleep. So think about actually, be honest with yourself. Is it something to do with a relationship? Is it to do with finances? Is it to do with your job? Is there a family issue? And if there is, think about addressing that. Are you taking medication? Could it be a side effect of medication that's keeping you awake? Or are you so excited to be in your new home that you're having stimulants before you go to bed? So it might be nicotine in cigarettes, it might be caffeine, or maybe you're doing a workout and you're going to into your bed too soon after that. Maybe you've got TV or computer in the room, or tablet or a smartphone, and that's what's sort of getting your brain to turn over. But I'd have a checkup to make sure there's not some sort of other issue, but it sounds to me like maybe there's a worry there that you need to sort of deal with.
Think about that one, definitely. Thank you, Rob. Next question. I'm going on holiday for a couple of weeks for the first time with my toddler to Spain, and I'm feeling a bit nervous. I wanted to put together a first aid kit. Could you please give me some advice on what to include and if there is any specific medication I should have to hand?
Great question. So many people don't think about this. So well done, because being prepared is really important. And as a parent, I would say take everything that you might need at home, because there's a chance you're going to need it on holiday. First aid kit, the basics really: thermometer, scissors, some age-appropriate paracetamol, and some age-appropriate antihistamine from a medication point of view, and also sterile dressings and plasters. I would say have a word with your pharmacist about this, because they will be able to give you great advice on what to put into a first aid kit. In fact, they may actually have one ready-made for children, and indeed obviously for adults.
That's
so
handy.
Pop along to your pharmacist and see what they recommend.
Brilliant. Okay, next question, Rob. Actually, it's the last one. Okay, since my elderly mother's sister died, she has had serious memory issues. She keeps asking me the same questions again and again, and there are times that she doesn't even remember her own grandsons. She also seems to be stuck in the past and remembers things from years ago. I thought it might be dementia, but I've taken her to the doctor and she has had various tests and they say everything is fine. Apart from this, she is in very good spirits. What could the problem be? It's heartbreaking not being able to help her.
This is a very difficult and sad situation, isn't it? And what strikes me about this situation is that she's grieving. that this is related to bereavement. And I think that's something to consider. If you think that's the case and you're in the UK, there is a phenomenally good organisation called CRUISE. They're the bereavement support and counselling service, and you can find their details on the internet. But the other things to sort of think about is other causes of this. Has she fallen down and banged her head? So might there have been some trauma? It doesn't happen to be recent. It could be over a couple of weeks. You say that you've had tests, but it sounds like the tests have only been for the dementia side. So I think those are the other things to think about. The other thing that can affect memory sometimes is an underactive thyroid gland, and also vitamin deficiencies like B12 and folate. So those are the sort of things that ought to be tested for if they haven't already been done by your doctor. I would suggest that if you're concerned, as you are, then there's no harm in having another consultation with the doctor to see, whether there might be another underlying situation. It might be that there's medication side effects causing this. But if this continues and it's not related to, let's say, depression, stress, or anxiety, which it could be, or it's not related to bereavement and grief, then I think further tests, are important. Maybe some blood tests, maybe a brain scan, for example.
I remember, Rob, I think sometime last year we had a guest on that had been through some difficult times in their life, and also been kind of, they sort of said something about themselves to their parents for the first time. I won't go into details here, but the mum basically just disowned the son, and from then he just lost his memory. And like he had very selective memory. He wouldn't sort of remember certain things. There's whole chapters of his life that he can't remember at all. And every now and then he goes back to that, and then he remembers other things. So sometimes it is trauma, isn't it, that person goes through? It
can be. But if you think about the bereavement process, often when you've lost somebody who's very, very close, you're not focusing on the now. You're thinking very much about the memories. You're reminiscing of all the good times, and it strikes me that this might well be the case. But it's very important not to just let it go on, and not to feel frightened actually to go back and have another opinion from the doctor, because when we see our patients, what we get is a snapshot.
Yeah.
And it's not, sometimes we can make an instant diagnosis. We see a rash and we say, yes, that's eczema and here's the treatment. But sometimes you need to see how things are progressing.
Yeah.
But certainly if she's displaying other symptoms like blurred vision or dizziness or, confusion, then don't hesitate. Go and get medical advice straight away.
Okay, brilliant. Rob, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you again next week for more
indeed.
Doctor's Answers. And guys, if you have a question for our good doctor here, you can email us on doctor@chrissybshow.tv. Well, after the break, we have more for you. I'll be giving you my top tips on how to get back up when you've been knocked down, and also something very special. You may consider pancakes as unhealthy, but you'll be pleased to know that our resident nutritionist Danielle Shine has found an amazingly healthy pancake recipe, which is normally kept for members of the exclusive Grace Belgravia. However, the head chef will be showing us how to make this scrumptious dessert. But first, where was the world's biggest pancake cooked? Was it A, England, B, America, or C, France? Find out the answer right after this break. Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, everyone. So before the break, I asked you, where was the world's biggest pancake cooked? Was it A, England, B, America, or C, France? The answer is A, England. It was cooked in Rochdale, Greater Manchester in 1994, and it was 15 meters in diameter, weighed 3 tons, and had an estimated 2 million calories. But now let's go to Danielle Shine, who found an amazing and healthy pancake recipe for us.
Hi everyone, I'm Chef Danielle Shine and I'm here at Grace Belgravia, a private members-only club in the heart of London. Now I'm excited and you should be too, because we are going to be cooking with their head chef today, learning how to make a super healthy dish. Let's get started. I'm here with Marchan, head chef from Grace Belgravia here in London, and we are so lucky to have you today, Marchan. Thanks for having us.
Hi guys. Hi,
we are going to make something amazing from the beautifully delicious and and super healthy menu that Marcin has created. What are we making today?
Hi guys, so we're gonna do buckwheat pancakes with grilled banana
Yes.
and some coconut yogurt.
Cool. All right.
So let's start.
get started.
Let's start from milk. We're using almond milk, but you guys can use also cashew milk or any nut milk.
So this milk is made with nuts. No dairy, no cows involved, nut milk. And you can make this sort of thing at home as well, can't you?
Yeah. This one is good. We make it here in our kitchen, so.
It's a nice flavour too. Okay, so we've got the almond milk, that goes in first.
Then we're gonna add buckwheat flour.
I kind of feel like pancakes have got a bad reputation, but if you make them like this, they're fine.
Then we're gonna add gluten-free baking powder.
Okay, and that helps the pancakes to
Rise.
fluff up and rise.
And then we're gonna add chia seeds.
This is one of my favorite ingredients in a lot of things. You can do sweet and savory things with these, can't you? And they're a fantastic source of protein, plant protein.
Yeah.
Cool.
Then the last thing will be vegan protein powder.
Oh, can I smell it?
It's very nice, and we
Oh wow, that
it's
smells
from
amazing.
hemp and pea, so it's
Hemp
very
and pea.
very natural. And then we're ready to mix all the ingredients together.
Yay, okay.
So the dough is ready.
Okay.
So we're gonna transfer it to piping bag, just to get us.
So what, this is a icing piping bag?
Yeah, you can buy in any shop.
That's a hot tip for everyone.
Yeah, so let's transfer.
Okay, do you need me to help?
Could you hold?
I can hold that.
for me?
This really does smell good.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna use coconut oil.
So this is coconut oil.
Yeah, to grease our pan.
What else can we use if we don't have coconut oil?
We can use olive oil or any type of oil.
The good thing about coconut oil is that it's got quite a high smoke point, so it's
Yeah.
very, very safe at high temperatures, and it
Exactly.
also adds a really nice flavour to the pancakes.
And we're gonna
And then just pipe it in.
pipe it in.
Wow, they are just perfect little round shapes. I mean, pancakes are very versatile, aren't they? I mean, I love making savoury pancakes,
Yeah.
but these ones are sweet.
Yeah, this is gonna be sweet one. So our pancakes are ready.
Okay.
And in the meantime, we're gonna
Pop them
gr-
there, okay.
we're gonna grill some banana.
We're gonna.
So
So
that
if
will
you don't
be.
have banana, you can grill things like peaches and strawberries and all kinds of things. Maybe even some coconut flesh. Have you ever tried? Oh, so good.
We're gonna sprinkle with cinnamon, which is bring some flavor.
So instead of, this is what I love, instead of adding sugar or fake flavorings, we're using natural things. I mean, cinnamon, everyone has cinnamon at home, and it really does taste
And
quite
they will
sweet.
actually caramelize in very, very nice.
Another fantastic tip, cinnamon caramelizes with the banana when it's heated. Wow.
So our pancakes are ready.
Okay,
Let's show.
so it's time to plate up. I will grab these plates.
Thanks so much. So let's start with pancakes.
Okay.
We're gonna plate them very nicely. We're gonna top up with coconut yogurt.
Okay, so tell me some things about coconut yogurt.
It's gluten-free and dairy-free.
Tick, tick.
Yeah.
No added sugar.
No, it's very nice, very delicious.
Delicious.
So yeah, let's pop in.
Now the bananas. Wow. Now what have we got here?
Now we're gonna do some blueberries.
And that is such a good idea. You're using like chopsticks.
Chopstick, yeah, it's very trendy at the moment.
This is beautiful, Marcin.
Touch of maple syrup on top.
Just every layer that you're putting on, it smells better and better. Wow. Oh my goodness, look at that.
And then dish is ready. Yeah.
That is beautiful. Time to dig in. I am excited. Oh my goodness. Safe to say, hands down, the most delicious pancakes I've ever tasted, and now you and I can make them at home. I'm excited, you should be too. The recipe is now on the Chrissy B website, so go and check it out. See you next time.
So thank you very much to Danielle and Marcin there. It was really great to see that. I'm definitely going to try that as well at home. So now it's time to get to my tips on recovery from being knocked down. So maybe you've been through a difficult time, something's happened that's unexpected, maybe something negative has taken place in your life, maybe you've lost something, whatever the situation, here's a few tips that I'd like to share with you. So my first point is to get rid of what's draining you. So, you know, you're going through something difficult at the moment, but something's happened, but maybe there are also other things in your life for you to kind of recover and get back on your feet. You might need to just evaluate everything and see what it is that maybe something else that's putting you down, something else that's draining you. So for example, it could be negative friendships. It could be negative people that are around you. If you just have a think about what in your life is causing you distress, is causing you to feel uncomfortable. Sometimes you may have a toxic friend and you've been making excuses for that person. Because to be honest, if a friend, if you feel bad around a friend, if you feel guilty, if you feel not encouraged, or they're putting you down, even in a jokey way, that's not a good sign, and that could actually be something that's draining you and draining your energy, and maybe even make you not feel very confident about yourself. To have a good look at your life, see what's going on in your life, and so you can actually start building up again, you know, if you have been through something negative. My second point is to start again one step at a time. So maybe pick one or two things that you can really sink your teeth into. And if you maybe take on too many goals at once, it could be too much for you and you won't actually do anything very well at all. So focus on fewer things and do them well. So small steps forward every day. And if you start off with small things and you achieve the smaller things, the smaller goals, then you find that you'll be more confident to take on bigger things. The next point is to surround yourself with positivity. So kind of related to the first point about sort of getting rid of any toxic people around you, but also seek out inspirational things. So you can speak to inspirational people, you can read motivational articles, try to stay away from bad news, negative people. Try and really sort of delve into things where everything is positive. I know sometimes it's difficult in this day and age when we hear so much bad news, but okay, it's not that you're not going to watch the news or check your social media, but seek out first the good stuff, because there is lots of good things out there as well. The next point is, don't expect perfect days. It would be ideal to have perfect days, but it's not very realistic. So things will not always go to plan. And even if things go wrong, just take a step back and think. It may just be a case of trying a different strategy. So in my case, for example, I've tried many different things with this program to try and make it work, to improve it. Some things were really good and we're still doing them until today. There's other things that were a complete disaster and we stopped. We just tried something different. So, you know, sometimes you kind of think, oh, you know, I tried that and I failed and it didn't go well and I made a fool of myself. But the thing is, at least you tried. It's something that, you know, if you don't try, you never know. So don't feel bad if things didn't go the way you planned or it wasn't perfect, you know, because sometimes when we expect perfection, it's really difficult to take when things go wrong. So just kind of, when you try new things, when you try different things, just have in the back of your mind, I'm trying this. If it doesn't work, I'll try something else, and don't stress about it too much. And my last point for today is to write down your achievements. Now, I always go on about this because I think it's actually really motivating to see your achievements, because I don't know what it is, it seems like we're naturally wired to just look at all the negative things, the times that we failed, the times when we said something we shouldn't, the times when, you know, we tried things and it didn't go the way we wanted to. We kind of seem to store those things more. But when we actually write things down, our little achievements down, and we look at that list, it's really, really motivating. So it could be, for example, that you did something nice for someone. It could be an achievement at work. It could be an idea that you put into practice and it's really worked. So just make a note, even if it's something small, make a note of it. Maybe you've been a lot healthier than what you normally are. Maybe you've started a new fitness regime and you're sticking to it. Write these things down and look back at the things that you've achieved. And also don't forget to reward yourself, because you deserve it. Well, everyone, we have reached the end of today's program, but if you have a story that you would like to share, or you'd like to participate on this show, or maybe you have some comments about past episodes that you'd like to share with us, we really do love hearing from you guys at home, then please do email us on info@chrissybshow.tv. You can also tweet us at Chrissy B Show or leave a message on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show. And if you want to know more about me, you can visit my personal website, which is mylifeafterdepression.com. Bye for now. All right, guys, so we're just going to give Natalia a chance. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Try again. Or leave a message on our Facebook page. But now it's time to talk to Oh, we're so close to doing that all the way through.
What are you going? It's my camera's not ready.
We're not on a time limit or anything in this place.
See, mine, like, I can do that.
She stops at it.
Like, ever so slightly stiffly.
All right, shall we start the show, guys? Today's got time.